Assisting me today will be Vampiro. Today we'll be covering the top 10 antagonists in video gaming. Dude, what are you doing? I'm being menacing. Menacing people to this. Like clenched, grab the air, villainy. Right, this. Now you're the lead singer of Creed.
From Gears of War. Whoa, what is it good for? A ram is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. What are you talking about, Ram? First thing Ram does when he's seen is basically kill a cog. And that's a bit of a statement if I've ever seen one. Really? Yeah, he just comes out there and bang. Done, does it within the first 30 minutes of the game. Enabling Phoenix to become the new leader. Yeah, well, that was sort of a plot move around that. But as short as of time that he's actually in the game, he does make a bit of an impact. In part 2 and 3, it wasn't really the same without Ram. I mean, the fight you have with him in the end when he's surrounded by the grill is just hard. Like, it's full on hard. Basically, all of that with Ram, even the short time he has in the game, has earned him a spot in the bottom 10. 9! Malik from Knights of the Old Republic. In the Old Republic, Malik was the apprentice of Darth Revan until he saw the opportunity to basically, for lack of a better word, fuck over his master and fire on his ship while he was trying to fight off a battalion of Jedi. Now that's pretty badass. It's sort of a bit of a dick move too, you know, he's the apprentice and he's just completely clusterfucked the entire thing, which ended up leading to his own downfall. That's pretty much what the Sith did. Yes, but it also shows his ruthlessness as well. I mean, this guy doesn't hesitate at actually launching a full-scale attack on his own master's ship. On top of that, when he was searching for Bastila Shan as well, he didn't hesitate in completely bombarding a planet's surface because he couldn't find him. So, that's a pretty prick of a move as well. Just goes to show he doesn't really have much planned out. Yes, that's true, man. Unfortunately, Revan wasn't quite dead and came back to later kill Malik, so unfortunately his journey was cut a little short. No pun intended. 8! Alma from Fear. Now, Alma is the creepiest little bitch I've seen in video games ever. Alma is a blatant copy of the little girl from the Ring, whose name I can't remember at this time because those movies were irrelevant. Alma is much more sinister and evil. She stalks the player throughout the entire game, throwing illusions at him left, right, and center, until the end of the game when you see her adult, deformed, mutilated carcass, I guess you can call it. I still can't figure out whether the bitch is dead or alive by the end of the game, to be honest. More likely dead. Well, she does look the part. I mean, she flashes between penis. She flashes? She flashes. She walks around naked at the end of the game. You know, when she... Beginning of the game, she appears as a cute, adorable little girl who just makes people explode in pools of blood. But that's very innocent of her. Oh, that's very innocent. It's very pure. But be that as it may, by the end of the game, she's alternating between ravishing hottie and decaying corpse. So your erection goes up and down at random. Wow. And it's sad to think that this is still the little girl who was at the beginning of the game. 7! Kain from Legacy of Kain. Now, Kain has been stamping his legacy, so to speak, through many games over many years. And personally, I think he's due for a new one. So if anyone from Eidos is listening, remake Legacy of Kain, or I will fucking murder you all. Do not touch any of the audio, any of the score, anything at all. Just touch the graphics. So basically, just make a sequel, or I'll murder you all. Point in summary, unless the game comes out sometime soon, everyone at Eidos is being murdered. So Kain! Kain started off in the video game series as the actual primary protagonist as opposed to antagonist, which he became so famous for in Soul Reaver. I mean, just in the footage you can see right now, he's a bit of a prick, tearing off his own vampire son's wings and casting into a pool of water, which basically acts like acid to their kind.
Now you know a character's real badass if he's got his own game named after him.
That is true as well. I mean, he didn't really become the Legacy of Kain until Soul Reaver. Before that was Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, and then it became everything Legacy of Kain. So he's a bad motherfucker in that regard. On top of that, he proceeds to then taunt Raziel and wipe out his entire clan of vampires. So pretty dastardly in his own way, but not a completely cold bastard as he later becomes the protagonist once again further on in the game.
And looking good while doing it.
He does look pretty cool. I'll give him that.
How could you profane a priest by turning him into a vampire? How could I not? One must keep his friends close, Raziel, and his enemies even closer.
6!
Rodrigo Borgia! Now this video game villain was based on an actual real-life prick. I mean Pope.
Aren't they the same?
Basically, yes. Rodrigo was responsible for killing pretty much all of Ezio's family apart from one of his sisters and his mother. And on top of that, went on to, through manipulations and scheming, to become the Pope, one of the most powerful people in the world at that time.
Which really pissed off Ezio.
It did greatly, but still, he achieved all this and really did nothing with it. All his goals were getting power, and when he had it, he was frantically just trying to keep eventually being killed, spoiler alert, by his own son.
Isn't that what happens to all popes?
It should be.
It's me, your queen.
You are my sister, nothing more.
5!
Kratos, help!
Zeus from God of War.
God of War!
Now who else could make it on our list but the king of the gods himself? Now be it in God of War 1, you didn't really see much of him, but by God of War 2, Zeus became a bit of an asshole when he, for lack of a better word, penetrated his son, the Sword of Olympus. Not the way you're thinking, Denny, it's nice to know your mind always goes there.
Oh.
Now Zeus, as it would turn out, spoiler alert once again, throughout later games, he's been corrupted from when Kratos Pandora's box. Don't go there, Denny, I know what you're thinking. Zeus got a bit of an arsehole streak and saw that Kratos could do the exact same thing to him as Zeus did to his father. So he proceeded to then basically try and put Kratos over with all his power. Unfortunately, it ended with him being beaten and bludgeoned to death for about 10 good minutes in one just epic button masher at the end of God of War 3.
We all love the button mashing.
It gets to the point where you can't even see him because there's so much blood sprayed on the camera from Kratos' beating.
Are you sure that wasn't just Zeus enjoying himself?
Geez, you're fucking mad sometimes, then.
4!
Shao Kahn!
Oh yes.
How can we go past the Emperor himself? The man who has been the backbone of almost every Mortal Kombat title. He's a dastardly bastard, has throngs of minions, and has failed to capture her throne time and time again.
And he loves to pose.
He does love the pose, and taunt. He taunts as well.
Oh yeah.
Cause uncanny
You suck. That was pathetic.
all of those good shit. He was taunting back before it was good.
And you know you're pretty badass if you can taunt in the middle of a Mortal Kombat fight.
Plus, the dude rolls around in like next to nothing, wears just like a loincloth and that badass looking helmet, and nobody has the balls to talk shit about it.
Of course not. Because they'll lose their heads.
Plus, he carries a big fucking hammer, and that's always a plus.
Don't make me laugh.
Where are the Elder Gods, Raiden? Their pathetic mortal combat shackles me no longer.
3!
Atlas! Now, Atlas started off in Bioshock as your best friend, teaching you how to play the game and where you've got to go and what to do and where to do it. Even convinced you to save his family at some point, but it didn't work and they died anyway. Turns out by the end of the game, that's all bullshit, and that he's been manipulating you the entire time with the phrase, "Would you kindly?"
But those are the kind of characters you do not trust from the get-go.
I made the mistake of doing it, and by the end of the game, I wanted to stab him in the face. Kindly. On top of that, afterwards he turns into a giant blue Dr. Manhattan-looking motherfucker who just joneses and juices up on Adam. Adam or Eve, one or the other. He joneses up on it. I haven't played Bioshock for a while, forgive me. But he just turns into a basically superpowered junkie. And how does he die? At the hands of little girls. With syringes.
How's that badass?
Not really, it was a bit of a fall from grace by the end of it. The Joker from Arkham Asylum as well as Arkham City. How can we go past the clown Prince of Crime?
Ah, yes.
Not only does he manage to get himself captured by Batman, but once he's put in there, he basically proceeds on taking over the entire fucking prison. And then again, later in the game, he takes over pretty much all of Arkham City in one giant manipulation and attempt to get Batman to finally do what he's always wanted him to do.
Which Arkham City is just another big giant prison.
I don't really think you really had to add that part, Denny. I think everyone got the gist of it with the Arkham title in front of it. But thank you for your contributions. And not only does he manage to take over all of Arkham Asylum, he becomes a tight and roided up freak by the end of it, and then finds himself dying in the next game. So what does he do? Concocts another master plan in an attempt to get Batman to finally break his rule and kill him. But that fails an attempt and he accidentally kills himself. So in the end, I guess he sort of gets the last laugh.
I would have saved you.
That actually is pretty funny.
Ganondorf from Legend of Zelda. This guy has been one of the top villains in gaming since video games were 8 bits. He's been around that long.
Not to be confused with Gandalf.
That's right, as one is a soulless ginger and the other is an aging homosexual. Ganondorf has been in essentially almost every Legend of Zelda title that has been made, and is equally badass every time. Whether he's wielding a sword, using his little magical powers that come from him having the Triforce of power, as well as his big mutant, I want to say half pig form in Ganon that he transforms into.
Pig form.
Yeah, he's like a giant pig. Have a look at it, see? I would still hit it. Which essentially puts Ganon at number 1 for that reason alone.
So tell me something. If you put him in Angry Birds, what do you reckon would happen?
I think the game would spontaneously combust from pure awesome. So that's the Vio1ent 10 for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments you would like to leave on the video, feel free. Otherwise, fuck yourself. Follow me on Twitter, @Vio1ent. Follow Vampire on Twitter, @Pigfucker. And we'll see you next time.